Good evening, everyone. Hello. Welcome to a slightly different genre of Hang Me.
Aye, because we wanted to add more games than that.
Yeah.
Because we like more games than that.
Yeah. We play a lot of TTRPGs, and then in terms of video games, despite the fact that Chris and I both love video games and talk about them a lot, we kind of only really do streams on Pokemon. And yes. Pokemon's great, but also, there's other shit out there. So let's talk about.
The thing is that,
let's talk about the series that started both of our love affairs with SRPGs.
Is that what we call them? SRPGs?
Apparently, yes, strategic RPGs to sort of differentiate them from your regular kind of turn-based JRPGs that are like party-based.
Okay.
It's a thing. I've done digging in my time.
I'm proud of you.
Yeah, because you think about it, role-playing games.
That you've done.
Yeah, role-playing games are a huge, massive genre.
Yeah, it's huge, and the concept of like a turn-based role-playing game is obviously not small. Like it encompasses most JRPGs. It kind of encompasses Pokemon. It
fully does.
Yeah, and like a bunch of stuff. Nice that it's got it. Nice that it's got its own. It's got its own wee nook. I like that.
Yeah, it's like how you get like subgenres are a thing. But yes, Fire Emblem.
Fire Emblem. Fucking love
Fire Emblem, a series that many people realized existed because random people with swords showed up in Smash Brothers.
Just a smidge.
Yeah.
I mean, that was. I don't know. I think that was my very first encounter.
I think it was our first.
Was
Smash Brothers Brawl.
Yeah, it was the Smash Brothers Brawl on the Wii, and then we kind of got interested in it, and that would mean that I think our very first Fire Emblem game that either of us owned would have been Fire Emblem Awakening.
Hands down, it was Awakening, and
yeah,
I know that for a
fact. That rebooted the franchise and brought it back to life.
Because Awakening is the earliest Fire Emblem game that I have properly played.
Oh yeah, because you've not played any of the GBA ones.
I haven't played any. I've played like the first mission or two of Sacred Stones, and it was one of those things where it's like I can see the bones of the thing I love here, but I got really used to some of the modern developments, and I don't really want to play it without them. I've had a similar experience.
I mean, that's fair.
Funnily enough, playing Pokemon recently because I've been doing a replay of Pokemon Y, and suddenly I've had a harsh reminder of how annoying HMs are.
Yeah, that's fair.
Especially when you build your team and realize that I haven't put a single flying type in.
See, I think the interesting thing actually, and this goes for Pokemon and Fire Emblem, because unlike you, I have played all but one of the Game Boy Advance Fire Emblem games. Admittedly, that only encompasses 3 games.
3 games because the big thing about Fire Emblem is that for the vast majority of its titles for a very, very long time, they were Japanese only, which didn't exist in the West.
Yeah. It only came over to the West on the Game Boy Advance with the game that came over to us just called Fire Emblem.
Yep.
And everywhere else is called Fire Emblem Burning Blade. It's Burning Blade and Blazing Blade.
Which are 2 different games. This is a series that has a pain in the arse naming convention in that it doesn't have a fucking naming convention. And if you want to try and understand where each of the things line up, 1, you don't need to. There's very little connectivity between the vast majority of them. And also, get the fucking wiki open.
It's not as complicated as the Gundam universe. It's not as complicated as the Fate universe.
Like, Fire Emblem gets
away
with it.
It's not as complicated, I think, as Zelda.
Fire Emblem actually gets away with it better than Zelda because there is such little amount of connectivity. Like,
and the
Zelda
ones that are
has consistent themes.
Obviously.
Consistent themes and areas. Fire Emblem just fucking doesn't. It has character archetypes.
Fire Emblem's like, Yeah,
That's it.
They are totally different places.
Go watch the Unraveled video that Brian David Gilbert snapped his fucking head open on.
Mean
trying to work out the character
categorizes
archetypes for
all
Fire
of the
Emblem.
Fire Emblem characters. Like, this is Axe Guys.
It's good. It's good.
It's Binding Blade and Blazing Blade. There we go. First one is Binding Blade. But so Fire Emblem, the Fire Emblem that's got Lynn, Hector, and Eliwood in it, is the game that has Bard, Board, and Chord in it. Wait, no, is it? No. Bard, Board, and Chord. Bard, Board, and Chord might actually be... No, it's Bard, Board, and Chord are from Shadow Dragon. And they have Ogma as their captain leader, who's interesting. Ogma is great. Bard, Board, and Chord is the main, though. That's 3 Axe Boys called Bard, Board, and Chord.
I'm not gonna lie.
The main.
One of the things I did learn from that Unraveled video that I find genuinely amazing is that Fire Emblem has, I think, repeated like 3 names for playable characters. They've reused a couple of villain names because there's a villain in Awakening and a playable character in Three Houses, both called Laurens, spelt the same way.
Yeah.
But they just haven't reused. They've just not reused a whole bunch of names. I'm like, you know what? Fair enough. And then you read some of the names, and it does sound like someone has just kicked George R.R. Martin's teeth in.
And that's for a series where the games consistently have between 20 and 40 playable characters.
Yeah.
All right, like OG Fire Emblem, later ported to the DS as Fire Emblem Shadow Dragon, which is, in my opinion, not a very good port, partly because the graphics are ass.
That happened with a lot of DS ports.
And yeah, the graphics are just ass, and it really upsets me because this was actually my original point, but I'll come back to it in a second. I was on, but it has an enormous roster of characters, an absolutely gigantic roster of characters. That isn't seen in a lot of the subsequent titles. Like, that definitely gets like 40 plus or something playable characters. It's ridiculous. And you get almost no story with any of them, because that was before they invented the concept of support conversations.
Which is weird, because that's like a keystone feature of the series now.
Well, this is the thing, is that like Fire Emblem really hinged on this introduction of like 2 people can like fight next to each other, and then you can learn more about their backstory. And that realistically came into prominence in Sacred Stones, which is the 8th Fire Emblem game or something.
You got 8 games in before they invented characters.
No, just before they invented romance dialogue, really. And bromance. There are great bromances in Fire Emblem.
It's really interesting sometimes how they approach kind of romance and bromance, because Awakening and Fates, again, all my experiences with the modern Fire Emblem games, Awakening and Fates had second generation characters. Like, your characters could get married and then through
have kids.
Either time travel fuckery or different dimension time travel fuckery, could have a child, and that child grows up, which is why I usually refer to my run on Fire Emblem Fates as the war crime run, because I go with just all the children. It's just child soldiers all the way down.
Child soldiers all the way down is Fire Emblem.
In the follow-up to that, because the next game after Fates is Three Houses.
Yep.
Technically. Because Shadows of Valencia came out between those,
Shadows
but
of
that's
Valencia,
a remake.
remember though? Yeah, it's a remake.
Yeah, Shadows of Valencia is a remake. Three Houses was the next original game. Three Houses is brilliant. I'm never going to play it again, but it is brilliant. When you sink 350 hours into a game, having done all
a linear story-driven game.
350 hours into a story-driven game, there comes a time where you kind of have to put it down and go, enough. I very much got my money's worth.
Yes. It's great, though.
Yeah, Three Houses is great. But there's no second generation characters in that. In fact, you can't actually even get your characters to couple up much. It's basically just you.
No, you are the only one who gets to get married.
Yeah, and it's weird.
Yeah, because you're a teacher.
Yeah, because you're their teacher. It's like, hey, kid grows... Children go to military school. Like 5 years later, one of them goes, hey, my old teacher from military school. Boing, boing. And then it's just like...
It is.
It's like, oh, that's bad. That's bad. That's bad.
Yeah.
That's just bad.
Yeah.
You can...
Age gap relationships, man.
No. It's not the age gap thing. It's fully not the age gap thing. It's the boning a teacher.
I know. The boning a teacher is a problem. Even if you do it 5 years after leaving school in the middle of a war.
If you are
still
watching
bad.
this, if anyone is watching this, and you learn truly nothing from anything else that Chris and I or anyone else in this channel has ever said or done, please
don't
learn
bone
this.
your teacher.
Don't fuck your teachers. Even if they're not your teachers anymore, do not fuck your teacher.
Yep. It's a bad move.
Doesn't matter if you are of age, if it is legal, don't fucking do it.
Yep.
Don't fucking do it.
Don't do it.
Yeah. It's yeah. Although, I will say, in Three Houses, just to finish this off, I do believe there are much more kosher, there are like a couple of really kosher romance options where you can get with the people who were also teachers, so that's fine.
You can absolutely bone other teachers. But sorry, coming back to the thing that we said 10 minutes ago when we started this conversation.
Don't fuck your teachers.
One of the interesting things, don't fuck your teachers. One of the interesting
things. Do teacher fuckers, but don't fuck your teachers.
Jay, what's your favorite Pokemon generation? To play.
5.
My favorites 2. Your favorite Fire Emblem games are in and around
Fates.
Sacred Stones. I adore that Game Boy Advance aesthetic, and I adore how beautiful they made things with so few pixels available.
Oh, it's
like
fantastic.
Some of the most beautiful animations are like the sword animations in Fire Emblem Sacred Stones. It's so well done. And it does mean that, so for me, the transition to 3D graphics for a lot of things are just inferior. Obviously you have what was kind of sparked this bit of the conversation, which was the Shadow Dragon port, which the animations look like ass. When I was playing it, I just turned the animations off, just fully, because they look worse than 90s CGI. Like the butt ugly Martians would have been offended to look like this.
Oh man.
Yeah, I know, and it grim.
No, it's just butt ugly Martians.
But yeah, I was gonna say we had great TV as the children. That's what people complain about. But yeah, so that 2D sprite art stuff that they did was incredible, and it really like pushed the envelope on a lot of the stuff. And much as I do like the 3D graphics in Awakening and Fates, and they're both phenomenal games. The writing is incredible. They're just both so well done. In Awakening, you don't have feet.
So, fun thing about Awakening and Fates is that I replayed Fates recently. I gave up on my plan for Awakening because I slightly buggered it. But
I'm in the middle of replaying Fates Revelation, which is part of the reason we're having this conversation.
Exactly. But partly because I was playing on a totally legitimate copy, Yar Har Fiddle-Dee-Dee.
Yar Har Fiddle-Dee-Dee.
I had to turn off the battle animations.
Okay.
because I could feel the device I was using physically heating up in my hands and freaking out trying to render them.
That's
and
so funny.
I gotta say, nothing of value was lost.
See, this is...
The 3D stuff, I heartily agree with you. The 3D stuff in Awakening and Fates is like the least of it. It's the least thing of it. It's all the gameplay tweaks and like changes and updates that I really like. All of the 2D, because you've got all the 2D character art in those games. That's what looks fantastic. That's where all the character is. All the 3D stuff is, ironically, very flat.
I am going to disagree with you on Fates. And this is actually one of the things I wanted to talk about, is like favorite classes and favorite like animations for classes and things like that. Because in Three Houses, I think that things got a little unimaginative with the graphics and the art team. And I love Three Houses, but I do think that particularly putting them all in school uniforms,
yes,
people got a little boring with it.
Yeah, they definitely shot themselves in the foot there.
Yeah, but where Awakening, I absolutely think that like the animations for our little polygonal fucking characters, you know, it's not the best. Some of it's really bad. But there's a couple of classes in Fates specifically where actually I think they made the animation not only fluid, but like clever and interesting.
I mean, they definitely have you definitely have a good time whenever you get someone who's using. I think they had a lot of fun with the style, especially with the Hoshiden classes. Because when you say that and you're talking about interesting animations, I think the ninja, I think the diviner, I think the dual-wielding weapons that the swordmaster can get.
Yeah.
That's what I think. Because I don't like the diviner as a class, but I can't deny that that paper animation with it kind of swirling around and then the big terrifying creature comes out.
Yeah.
That looks cool as shit. I just don't like
cool.
the diviner as a mage class.
That's fair. The spear fighter and the sniper are my two personal favorites.
Yeah, the sniper constantly just leaping into the fucking air.
Yeah, with like the spinning and shit, and it looks great. And this is the thing, is like they take that like not having a lot on quite a small screen, and I think they did it so well on the Game Boy Advance. They got into the swing of it by the second DS game, and then on the Switch it became a lot less on the Switch,
because we've only had one Fire Emblem
quite happily
game on the Switch. It was Engage and
Three Houses and Engage.
Oh yeah, fuck. For some reason I keep thinking,
we literally just talked about Three Houses.
For some reason I keep lumping Three Houses in with the DS games. I think it's maybe just because Engage is so different.
So this is an interesting thing. So one of the things that we started on, which is that the Fire Emblem games are all really individual,
very distinct.
Yeah, and when there's a sequel, it's a blatant sequel. Like Binding Blade to Blazing Blade is literally you playing as the children of the characters from the previous game.
Yeah, and Fortune's Weave, the new one, is very directly connected to Three Houses, because I'm pretty sure you're getting sent on the mission.
It's blatantly in the same world.
Yeah, because it's clearly that Sothis has grown up, and this is in a country that is specifically mentioned in things, especially because it's the homeland of one of the other teachers.
Yes, there's a lot of like very explicit, mentioning.
Yeah.
But other than those kind of really obvious things, like every time they do a Fire Emblem game, they've generally tried to, or change, I suppose, a generation of Fire Emblem game, they've tried to make it distinct. So like, like the big shifts, particularly when they changed consoles. So the shift from Game Boy Advance to the games that came out on the GameCube and the Wii, enormous shift. Just a complete change.
It was a Fire Emblem game
because you've not played. Yeah. You're aware of Ike?
Yes.
His game's on the GameCube.
His game's on... Okay, see, GameCube I understand. The Wii I understand less, because I'm trying to think how you would fit a motion control gimmick into an SRPG.
There's no motion controls.
Good.
It's you play with the remote sideways.
Okay, good, because
but it's
that was sometimes a problem with the Wii.
Yes.
I say sometimes.
But it's the direct sequel. Again, it's a direct sequel. The Wii game is a direct sequel to the GameCube game, and that's got Micaiah in it, who you'll remember from Engage.
See, this is the... Weirdly enough, Engage is the reason why I know most of the characters from, like, the Legacy stuff. Like, Engage is fully just a history lesson of Fire Emblem. And also, you're playing as magical girls. It's weird.
I love it.
It's fucking mental, but
in the DS games, though, they also brought in the Einherjar shop, which was this concept that you could summon heroes from the past using Yu-Gi-Oh cards.
And amiibos.
Because goddamn, they need to get that amiibo cred in somewhere.
I'm not gonna lie.
So there's
I would have loved it so much if they had just gone whole hog with the amiibos and let you bring in characters from other games, but with no context. Like, just...
What, like Link and Mario?
Like Luigi, yeah. It's just like, what? Just Luigi shows up as a fucking... as a fucking sorcerer just throwing lightning at people.
I mean, the closest we got to that was...
Link would be a paladin.
Mario vs. Rabbids.
Yes, which is a pretty solid game.
It's a good game.
It's a pretty solid game. I have the sequel in my drawer.
Nice.
I haven't played it yet.
Play the sequel.
Because I just finished Pikmin 3 this morning. Because I've been on a weird kick of games.
You said you're playing
I have played
3 and Cyberpunk.
I have finished Cyberpunk 2077 and Pikmin 3 within 2 days of each other. Yes, 2 days. Because I finished Cyberpunk on Saturday.
Which game had more death and murder?
It was definitely Pikmin. I'm not gonna lie, it was definitely Pikmin.
Yeah, shit's crazy.
Cyberpunk had more intentional death and murder, I will say.
Yeah, I feel like
surprisingly enough, despite my liberal use of grenades and exploding shotguns, there was very little collateral damage.
I've also just noticed that you moved the shield in the background. Was it bugging you?
Just because it was slightly sticking through your head, yeah.
Yeah, I thought it might be bugging you.
I noticed it and I was like, oh fuck, I better shift that because it looks twat. But yeah, like, this is the thing, is Fire Emblem. It's a name that means, realistically, it means nothing when you look at it. It has no context with itself. Both of these images that are on the screen are the Fire Emblem.
So I kind of like this about Fire Emblem, though.
There's no connectivity, just fucking roll with it. But I wanted to talk about the one directly above my head, which is from Three Houses. It is never called the Fire Emblem. It is always referred to as the Crest of Flames, and I cannot help but sit there and just be like, there's some developer with a thesaurus furiously sitting there, furiously flicking through it, desperately trying not to get the Cinema Sins roll credits moment. I was like, we can't let them say the thing, it'll be too cheap. We can't do it. Fuck it, Cinema, Crest, Flames, fuck it, that's the game, that's the backbone of it.
I mean, but that literally was the backbone of the game.
Yeah,
they were like, Crest of Flames, crests. Everybody has like a special family crest that does magic shit.
Yeah, and it's really... okay, I'm gonna... can I complain about the crest system, or do you want to move on?
No, complain about the crest system. We have no structure today.
Excellent. So, the crest system in Fire Emblem is basically a bunch of your units, not all of them.
It's class privilege.
It's fully class privilege. It's the wealthy people get the crests and therefore magical abilities and special weapons. And the poors get to eat shit. I think there is a slight balance. I think there is actually a balance stat-wise in terms of growth level. I probably pull that out of my arse. But the crests are basically, you have an invisible hidden chance to trigger a thing and there is no way to influence this, which means that it just happens fucking randomly. But also a bunch of them get access to special magic weapons that run into the eternal video game problem of their limited uses are so precious that you never fucking use them because they're so hard to repair.
There's only one crest item that I consistently use all the time, and it's the one for Saint Sethline because it doesn't break.
Is that the staff?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a rod, and you just equip it, and it's not a healing rod or anything. It just increases your healing and also your range.
Yeah. Yeah, range is a fun thing because here's the thing, it's really interesting sort of having played all of the modern games and watching how my kind of army composition changes. Because when I first played Awakening, I took one look at the archers and never touched them.
Yeah.
When I played Fates, it had a bit more fun because you get Prince Takumi, who gets a special weapon that lets
Who's a fucking monster.
He's a fucking monster. He gets a special weapon that lets him ignore terrain. Like, he can just run over mountains. It's great. And just, he's like an ultimate skirmisher. But there was still not a great reason to use bows over magic. Whereas, because if you attack someone nearby who has a bow, they can't counterattack. Whereas magic, doesn't matter the range, they can still counterattack. Three Houses, they gave archers a much better reason, for want of a better term, to exist. Because leveling up the archery skill gets you, like, huge range increases.
Yeah.
It's like Bow Knights can run in, shoot someone 5 tiles away, and fuck off.
Yeah.
It's great.
That's fair. That's fair. I think the really thing like that cause I tend to go for crit builds over a lot of other things, it means I've always used archers because archers tended to have better skill growth and better crit chances than most magic users. And that was even more the case really in Fates.
Yeah. Because I've done some crit building in Fates now, and woo-wee!
Yeah, it's great. But certainly in Awakening, like the one archer that you get to start off with is not good. Is not good. But then interestingly, you contrast that to Engage, which had quite a traditional weapon system in terms of archery and weapons.
Yeah.
Although it removed the weapon triangle? No, it brought back the weapon triangle.
It changed the weapon triangle.
It changed the weapon triangle.
Because I think weapons... I was re-looking at this again.
Because they were...
the weapon
it was
changes
removed
what kind of support you do.
That was what it was. Yeah, because it was Fire Emblem Three Houses totally... So, there's a thing in Fire Emblem called Weapon Triangle, which has existed for a really long time. It wasn't in the first 3 games, but it came in somewhat after that. And the idea is that swords beat axes, axes beat lances, lances beat swords.
It's fully
rock, paper, scissors for tactics.
Yeah, it fully is. And Fates,
some sequel games also added it in for magic.
Fates built it quite nicely because it basically went, okay, you've got your swords, lances, axes, triangle. But then each of those has a ranged thing that goes with them. Because, like, swords had...
Well,
swords and magic were on the same color.
Yeah.
Shuriken and lances were on the same color.
Fates color-coded it.
Yeah, they color-coded it red, blue, and green. And axes and bows were on the same color. So they made it very clear, and it was like, okay, so you've got, like, your close combat version and your ranged version. You can play around with that.
Yeah. One of the complaints people had about Fire Emblem Three Houses, which is arguably one of the most successful Fire Emblem games to date, partly because it's one of the most successful dating games in Fire Emblem. The success of Fire Emblem Three Houses massively fleshed out the interpersonal stuff. It really fleshed out to new levels never before seen.
The characters are a lot deeper.
The complaint about it was that it flattened the combat, partly by removing the weapon triangle, which means that weapons lost a degree of identity. they tried to replace that with something called weapon arts, where different weapons could get some special moves, but you mostly don't use them because they're not actually that good.
Well,
And they were better in the game. They were better in the game they were invented for, which was Shadows of Valencia.
Yeah, sure, but they like the weapon arts in Three Houses definitely turned the tide of things. The battalion system, I think, was much more of a game changer in terms of how combat flowed.
I used the battalion abilities way more than
the battalion system was way more of an effect, but the weapon arts they made a difference, but you had to be very specific about them because it was really easy to get a weapon art and then not find out what it did and then just let it fall by the wayside. Like they weren't emphasized enough.
No, they weren't. And a lot of the early ones that you got were
shite.
Just not. Yeah, like
they were really boring.
Attack. Yeah,
use
up three ammo to hit harder. When actually, if you didn't, you'd hit twice and you'd do more damage.
Yeah,
which was a lot of my experience with a lot of them. So I very much let them fall by the wayside.
A couple of the later, more specialized ones worked pretty well. Like I remember there being some bow ones that, like I said, increased range or like did stat damage, and that. And there were a couple of exclusive ones that hit pretty hard.
Oh, I did forget my tea. Thank you.
Mostly it was again the ones for the special magic weapons that would use, because they're the ones that would have they had the big shiny. They would have the big shiny damage to them, but also they're really hard to repair. So you got to be really fucking
all of the ammo,
and
then you had to repair it, and it was a pain in the arse. It was really expensive, and then you just never used it.
But Three Houses.
Opinion.
But Three Houses also.
No. There's no dating in Wargroove, therefore Wargroove is not the best Fire Emblem game.
Wargroove is fucking great.
It's on my
Fire
list.
Emblem is better. Can't fuck anyone in Wargroove.
Not with that attitude. Chris, let's be real here.
Wargroove is very good, though.
We both know that the best Fire Emblem game is XCOM 2. You can't fuck it. Them's fighting words. Them's fighting words. And I'm not going to back them up.
Oh, no, all of that, though, does bring up a really good point. I'm going to interrupt you before the thing that you were going to say, because otherwise I'm going to forget it. And then we can go back to what you were going to say.
I was going to say, go for it.
Yeah, this is not a connected conversation. One of the things, because I've played a bunch of SRPGs, I suppose we're calling them. Serpiga. I've played a bunch, and the ones that have kept me have been Fire Emblem and XCOM 2. And I've wondered why that is for a long time. I mean, XCOM 2 partly because it has an extremely addictive gameplay loop. But for instance, Wargroove and its predecessor... What? Barry's heckling me from the rafters.
As always.
But the kind of... So Wargroove is the spiritual successor to a game called... Let me go and fucking find out.
It's not Disgaea.
Because I've totally forgotten. No, not Disgaea. Disgaea is a totally different thing.
Disgaea is
Advance Wars.
Advance Wars, right, yeah.
Yeah. Now, one of the reasons that I think I love Fire Emblem more, and one of the reasons also why I struggle a little bit to get my teeth into some of like the much older Fire Emblem games, so like generations 1, 2, 3, and 4, like the really early stuff that was only out in Japan, is that your units in Wargroove are completely disposable. You just are like, I need a new tank, I need a new gunner, I need a new whatever. And yeah, so they're completely disposable. You just summon as many as you've got points for, and then let them loose, and then they die and you summon more. And that's the kind of strategy of it. Whereas the thing that I think Fire Emblem got absolutely right, and again, less right in Shadow Dragon, because Bardboard and Cord, and you've got over 40 dudes to fight with, and you're still gaining new units like 25 chapters in, when you are absolutely not adding any more people into your roster. roster, but it's that
Nothing into the roster.
you're playing. It's that you're playing with all individuals. You're playing with characters who you get, who are the same person, who you get to grow with and train and level up and customize and work on. And XCOM 2 is the same. I love XCOM 2, but like, it's so crushing when someone that you've put hours and days of work into and got them up to like a captain or a major, and then they die, and you're like,
especially when they die really brutally.
oh god, yeah,
like
it's
like
grim.
You're at the end of the level, but this guy has like lagged behind because they're like your sniper or something, and reinforcements come down, and they're between your sniper and the escape point, and it's just that sort of, oh god, and they get cut down.
I fucking remember I was crying to you on my last XCOM 2 playthrough because like I had a ranger who I'd like bonded with, and he was like best pals with my medic, and then it was a time limited mission, and the last turn passed and he couldn't reach the exfiltration point, so he had to get left behind, and I never got a mission to save him until much later. I was fucking in bits.
I would just like to point out, everybody, this was 2 weeks ago, and yeah, I mean, for like XCOM and Fire Emblem present a really, really interesting dichotomy for this, because XCOM pulls it off purely through gameplay and randomization.
Yeah.
There's
trauma.
And trauma. It's trauma all the way down for both of them. But XCOM there's no writing to those characters, to your soldiers. The only characters that are written are the ones back at your base. Fire Emblem goes the complete opposite direction, and all of these characters, they are written, they have intent, they have hopes, they have dreams, they have weird habits.
Yep.
They have favorite foods, the whole thing. Like, they're people.
Yeah.
And you fall in love with them for the different reasons. Like XCOM, but also when you're talking about Fire Emblem, kind of developing that and developing the characters and having that as a system, that's where that addictive gameplay loop comes in that you were talking about with XCOM, because it is about right. I need a whiteboard when I do shit like this, because because I can feel the academic discussion again. I have a degree in game design. When you're talking about something like this,
why we're here to have these conversations.
It is a balance between uptime and downtime. You have to be able to balance them both in a way that one feeds into the other, and it's an incredibly hard thing to do as a game designer, because I have looked at systems like these. I have played good ones, and I have played bad ones.
Yes.
Fire Emblem, to it in a number of the games, nails this. XCOM 2, specifically, really nails this, because you have your two distinct areas of gameplay. You have when you're out on the missions, doing your combat, that's your strategic, that's your tactics, your battle, all of the like hectic frenetic stuff. And then you have your back at base time, which in XCOM is when you get time to process what has just happened in a mission. If someone's been injured, you're looking through upgrades, you're adding new rooms to I forgot the name of the fucking ship.
I can't remember.
The discount helicarrier. The Costco helicarrier.
Indeed.
And Fire Emblem, at least the modern ones, I'm not an expert on the GBA ones, they also, like, Awakening and Fates nail this, because when you are back at camp, the main thing you are doing is you are rearming your troops, particularly in Awakening, because it had weapon degradation, and you are reading through the support conversations. These both give you enough time to decompress from the combat enough that you're not still stressed by it. It lets the cortisol come down, so that when you come out of it and you get to that lull in the downtime, you go, just one more chapter. It's a similar, like, a lot of roguelikes rely on that system, much more compressed. Like, for a masterclass in it, look at fucking Hades.
Absolutely.
Because it does the exact same thing as Fire Emblem, just way compressed down, because there's a much smaller cast of characters and no permadeath.
Yeah. So, interestingly, in terms of the progression along Fire Emblem games to reach that point, in your GBA Fire Emblem games, so your first two, Binding Blade and Blazing Blade, is essentially just like planning screen mission. So like your downtime is the planning phase, which is good, but it's not what you're talking about. So like it's fun, but it's not there. The third Game Boy Advance game, which is Sacred Stones, which I adore, fixed it by having a kind of like Super Mario open world map where you like can jump between, levels and different points. And it also meant that you could do random encounters, and there were secret dungeons that you could go and do. So that was kind of what that was for. It gave you that break by letting you kind of like meander. So that was the thing. The first time that they kind of implemented more of like a home base type thing was in I need to try and remember what it's actually called. The Fire Emblem game for the GameCube. Let me just go and look. I should have the Fire Emblem wiki up in front of me whilst doing this.
You probably should, yeah.
I really should.
Right. While you're doing that, I'm just going to quickly make a similar point, because I have played a game which back when I did game reviews, I did a review of called Dark Deity, which is absolutely diet Fire Emblem. It really is. We have Fire Emblem at home, and the gameplay's not bad. It's a little buggy, but the downtime or lack thereof is what really made me stop giving a shit. That and the writing is terrible, but you need that downtime. Some games, this is the thing, even when you have games that are high octane and rely on that supreme amount of like run, high energy, boom, 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 they have this element, they have moments of downtime, they need the minute to breathe. Things like Borderlands 2, or even even Doom had shit like that.
Yeah, it's important. It's the only time that like the constant barrage of stuff type gameplay loop works is in like the games where it does like kind of like short burst stuff, like fucking House of the Dead type, like arcade shooters. You like
it worked. The only time like
you lose.
If you have the only other time I have had it work has been in games that are really short. Like the entire game is 3-4 hours, because you can maintain that. It's hard, but you can maintain it. See a doctor if you can't. See a doctor for the last 1 to 4 hours. But the point is that what was I going to say? Balancing between if things are stuck on at 11 at all times, it becomes boring. You might as well be staying at 2 the entire time. It's the peaks and troughs, the changes in pacing, however slow or sudden those need to be. That's what makes the experience. That's what gets the... You're playing with people's neurochemistry. That is what you are doing with this stuff. You want to make the right chemicals pump out of the right bits. And you can't do that if you're just doing the constant...
Yeah, I've just learned something absolutely wild that like was never clear to me because... No.
Damn
okay.
it!
So I'm talking about Binding Blade and Blazing Blade.
They're the same fucking game, aren't they?
No. So they're Game 6 and Game 7. They came out in the opposite order to what I thought. And it's because the one where you play as Eliwood's son was a Japan only. So the Roy game is Japan only, which is game 6, and then they released the one about his dad as a prequel as game 7, which was the first English language release, and that's why I've always got it wrong. And that's goddamn this. They're not confusing games, but the move from Japanese to like English language release is wild. But yes, sorry. But the GameCube game was called Path of Radiance, and the Wii one is Radiant Dawn. But that was the first time that they did like an in your camp, chatting to people, and they did so. But again, it wasn't quite what you get in Awakening, where or even really. I mean, they still had support conversations where you fight next to someone and you build their support with them and you get much love, which is great. And interestingly, in previous games, people had like a limited number of support points that they could have with people. Like you could have like 5 levels of support total. So you would normally put like 3 into one person and 2 into another. Path of Radiance and Radiant Dawn, you could have as much support with everybody as you wanted.
Yeah.
But when you were in camp, basically, in between specific chapters, there were specific things, depending on who was still alive, that you could do. So there were like, like it would be like, there are 3 people who would like to talk to you. And you go, oh, cool, I can have these conversations with these 3 people. And you get stuff from those. And you also, one of the kind of cool things that you got to mitigate some of the difficulty curve in the game was that at the end of every chapter, you were granted a pool of XP separate from the XP gained by your units that you could then award in camp.
Interesting.
Which was quite cool. Yeah. You also got to change people's abilities about and stuff like that. Yeah. So that was kind of the point. Oh, thank you. Have dinner.
Have dinner, folks. It's a good idea.
It is very important. Dinner is very good for you.
Yeah.
So that was like a cool thing, and then it was separate from like your planning screen at mission time. So yeah, it's just interesting the development from like, from just mission planning screen to like open world and mission planning screen to set camp routine and mission planning screen to Awakening, which was then back to open world and mission planning screen, but with more camp activity you could do.
Well, when you've had nearly 20 games in a franchise,
we're coming up for game 15. We're coming up for not including remakes and side games.
Oh, okay, right. No,
Fortune's Weave will be Final Fantasy 15.
No, it won't. It'll be Fire Emblem 15, Chris. It'll be Final Fantasy 15 happened. It was the one that's just a bachelor party with a goth band.
I kind of enjoyed it.
I still want to play. I haven't played it yet. Because it seemed like they finally sorted the combat out.
Don't bother with the final third. The final third is a waste of time and the ending is garbage. But the first 2/3 of the game are great.
Right.
That's my review of Final Fantasy 15.
Fair enough. I'd like to move off and be incredibly British for a moment, because I'd like to talk about class.
Hey.
Fire Emblem as an RPG, like RPGs in general, especially fantasy RPGs, tend to have class systems. SRPGs specifically. Now, there's a lot of different schools of thought of how you manage them. Sometimes it's characters have their class, like, hey, here's Dennis, he is the rogue, and he levels up that. Sometimes you get choices within that, and there's lots of different ways you can play it. Fire Emblem has had a number of tweaks to its class system, because it's largely, in the modern games, been people start as certain classes, but you can, with some effort, you can shift them into different ones, and you can evolve them into the ones they are. Because this is the point I was going to make about Three Houses when we were talking about the weapon triangle.
Yeah, you say that, but Three Houses.
Three Houses offered the most ways to change over. What are you talking about?
Three Houses made classes bland by meaning anyone could be anything at any time.
I'm not sure bland is the word I would use. But
I thought the classes were exceedingly bland.
It meant that characters didn't identify with their class as much, which is a thing that happens in the writing. If you look at some of the other couple of 3DS games, certain characters do identify with their classes a lot more, like with their base class, like what they should be, which is always really funny if you reclass them into something else. The Three Houses.
Well, I think.
Introduced the 3-tier class system, and I do have problems with it. The first one is gender locking, but
yes, although the 3-tier class system they tried it out in Echoes Shadows of Valencia to varying degrees of success. And they added like a 4th tier as DLC.
Yeah, no, don't ever do that. If you're Fire Emblem, Fire Emblem
I
has
bought
done
all of the DLC classes.
Fire Emblem has, in recent times, actually done DLC pretty well. Because
I'm a fan of Fire Emblem DLC.
In Three Houses, you had the Ashen Wolves DLC, which gives you 4 new characters, an entire new plot, and an entire new area in your home base. And all 4 of these characters are fascinating and come with their own special classes.
Awakening and Fates both offered you a mix of pointless, silly, fun DLC, such as beach episodes, which is great. But
did you ever play the beach episodes DLC for Fates?
Yes,
it's brutal.
It's so good.
Yeah, but it's fucking brutal
for a beach episode. And your reward at the end is a picture.
Your reward is a picture of one of the royals. And I picked Xander because I was like, fuck it, I'm getting some mounted people and I need someone with some range. Yeah. And it was like, it takes so long because you have to kick the ass of every other royal and the retainers. And I'm like, oh god, and everyone's using shit weapons.
Yep. Oh, it's so good.
It's brutal. It's a knockdown, drag out fight.
Yeah, it's so good.
But yeah, no, like having full story ones is good. But anyway, class. I want to talk about the class system. Traditionally, it's base class, and then you can promote them into a better class. For example, you have the fighter, who is like a guy with an axe who smacks good and has lots of HP. They can be evolved into the berserker, who is just that but so much more, or into something like the warrior. I know I'm using the most generic names, but it's the ones that came to mind, where they are like where they go a bit more versatile and they have slightly changes to things. But
Warrior and Awakening was axes and bows, I think.
It was, yeah.
Yeah, and that's a class lifted from the Game Boy Advance games.
That's the thing, is they've been through so many classes they can chop and change them. The only time I have played a Fire Emblem game and I have flat out disliked the class system was Engage.
So, Engage has a much more traditional Fire Emblem class system, where the character is locked to... Well, the character is kind of locked to... No, they're not.
No, they are not. They're not in the fucking slightest. The problem with Engage...
yeah, no, I'm lying.
The problem with Engage is that...
Yeah.
The reason one would change classes is to get some of the different abilities from those classes and then put them in something else. Engage removes that by making the abilities based on the central conceit of the game, and also because they changed the weapon triangle to change how your support works, and then split each weapon version of a class into its own thing, it siloed you so hard. And also, a number of the advanced classes were shit. And also, they locked a lot of the really good abilities to character-specific classes, and I don't like that.
Character-specific classes? Like
yeah,
what?
All of the royals have their own specific, unique classes, and that's where a lot of the classic really good. For example, Diamant and Alchrist have Sol and Luna. They are the only ones who can get that. Who can get those abilities.
I will give you that. That was garbage.
Yeah, they do that really for a lot of them. Pretty much all of them, I believe.
Yeah.
And unfortunately,
but again,
apart from those abilities, some of those characters and classes are kind of shit.
Equally though, and I think this actually comes back to what you were saying earlier about a problem, is that because they actually basically made the abilities less relevant because of the magical girling.
Yeah, but also the magical girling, I like it. I'm going to play a gauge again. I'm going to give it a replay and try and run it through a bit better. But it doesn't, it encourages you to stick with the element, with the one character with the ring that they use. It encourages you to stick with that, which means that the abilities don't...
I disagree.
It does and it doesn't. It's hard to kind of look at it. This is why I want to play Engage full through again and try differently, because it is again, it's a common problem in video games, but it's usually linked to weapons. When you're dealing with weapons that level up as you use them, as soon as a weapon gets to a full rank, suddenly you stop wanting to use it because you're like, but it's got all the XP's going to waste and I should level up my other stuff. That happens all the time. And the engage rings are exactly the same. So in order to get the full use out of them, I'm like, no, I have to stick with it, and that doesn't get spread around, and it was annoying. So I'm not sure if it's just the way I play it or some bollocks, but
I had a slightly different experience.
It means
it's partly because
it makes it hard to stick to the strategy.
Fair. What I found is that because with the engage rings, there's a similar system to the one I described for Path of Radiance and Radiant Dawn, where you get all your XP that you get from fighting, but you also get a pool of bonus XP that you can just distribute. So you get that in Engage, but you get to spend it on leveling up people's relationships with their rings. And through leveling up your relationships with the rings, you get more abilities. So I basically just used the abilities you got from leveling up with the rings. The character and class abilities became a bit moot.
Yeah,
I think I reclassed one character, which was Etienne, who I made an armor knight, got her defense up to the most bitchin' it possibly could be, got her back into being an archer, and then a bow knight. And she had huge resistance, huge defense, massive range and mobility, and was unkillable. And I partnered her with Ike, and it was great.
Yeah.
So I had a lovely time.
That does actually bring me on to...
But I basically did it for the growth rates.
But that brings me on to a thing that... a problem that happens a lot in the genre. Because I have seen a number of people try and take this style, this SRPG style, and kind of lean it more towards the real-time strategy, where your units are more disposable, or try and put a roguelike formula on it. I have never lost interest faster. Give me random missions in this kind of thing. By all means. XCOM does that great. Fire Emblem Fates does that reasonably well. But as soon as you stop giving me consistent characters, I stop giving up. It's the reason why it's not the same kind of game, but it's the reason why as soon as I heard about Darkest Dungeon 2 and how it handled its characters, it killed all of my desire to play that game. Because it was a similar thing of, I have my guys, and they develop their traits and their feelings and the way they adjust to things, and like I've been through things with these guys. Whereas in every time in Darkest Dungeon 2, it's a reroll, and I think it says a lot about how well that game has done that they're still releasing DLC for Darkest Dungeon 1. Like the last DLC for Darkest Dungeon 1 was like a week ago.
I will say that my wife
Darkest Dungeon's fucking
really
good.
loves Darkest Dungeon 2. My wife really loves Darkest Dungeon 2.
Did she really like the first one as well?
Yeah, she did. Both of them are 100% her jam.
Fair.
And actually, I think the thing is that, interestingly, where Darkest Dungeon 1 was a lot like XCOM, in that you get lots of Plague Doctors, lots of Paladins, lots of whatever the different kind of classes are. and each one had a different name, and you know, you kind of try and train them up and make them good, and they acquire positive and negative traits as the kind of growth with them. Darkest Dungeon 2, it's like there is only one Plague Doctor, and he's got kind of like a story, and there's only one, you know, kind of whatever the next thing is, and they've kind of got like a story, and like if they die, that's kind of bad.
Yeah,
but that's, as I understand it. I could easily be wrong.
As far as I'm aware, their traits are randomized. Like their phobias and their philias and like all the shit that they're good at and they're bad at is randomized.
Yeah.
Every run.
Interesting.
And I stopped. I just went, that sounds... At the core of it...
That does sound miserable.
At the core of it, this is interesting tactical gameplay and characters I give a fuck about. That is, at the very bones of it, what makes this genre good. I have played a number of these. I've played quite a bit in this. I've played a number of Fire Emblem games. I've played XCOM 2. I have played Triangle Strategy. I have played... Oh god, fucking Triangle Strategy. I have played... I've played Final Fantasy Tactics. I've played Fae Tactics. Like, so many different games. There are a number of things in my library that are along this lines.
Yeah.
And it's like, this is what you need. Is you need... Give up characters I can give a fuck about and see them grow, and interesting tactical gameplay. And I think one of the things that has been slightly not underdeveloped, gone unsung, is the way that the last two Fire Emblem games, that being Three Houses and Engage, really shook up the actual in-game tactical gameplay by changing how certain enemies worked and changing how environments worked. Because Engage placed a huge emphasis on, a pretty big emphasis, on environmental manipulation for a while. And Three Houses introduced the giant monster enemies, which are basically a puzzle in and themselves each time. Like, they are such a test of resource management, and it makes combat change, and it makes it interesting in brand new ways. And I love that shit. I also love the fact that in Fire Emblem, consistently, you can shoot people through walls, and I think that's just hilarious.
It's great. But also, I would counter that Fates did both of those things first. Fates did both giant enemies and terrain manipulation before Three Houses and Engage did.
Fates did giant enemy.
Yeah, the golems.
No, the golems aren't huge.
Yeah.
The golems are normal size. And you fight them normally.
Normal size?
Yes. They're one tile.
Okay. They feel big. But they feel big.
That's the animation, man.
I know.
They're one tile big and they have huge range. But Fates had a big influence on environments and like how the environment affected you, not so much on how you affected the environment. Like the Dragon Vein system has a certain amount of that, but
you get to actively change the environment.
You do get to actively change the environment, and some of the map design in Fates, fantastic. It's brilliant. And Fates has some of the, specifically Fire Emblem Fates Conquest, because Fates is 3 games, and unlike Pokemon, they are 3 distinct games with 3 distinct stories.
But all the same characters. It's great.
Conquest has, I think, personally gets my vote for most interesting gameplay. Revelations has the best maps. Conquest has a number of missions.
Revelations.
Conquest has a number of
essentially
maps.
Puzzle missions.
Well, yeah, because it's because in Birthright, which is like the first one, the lower level one, every single mission is either rout the enemy or in fact, I think it is every single one is rout the enemy, which is just
which is everybody. Classic Fire Emblem.
Just kill everybody.
That is a classic Fire Emblem. Yeah.
Conquest, because you are supposed to be on the back foot so much, which is weird because that's not That's not quite what the story is supposed to be. It's like a subversion of what the story is feeling. It's a good thing. It's really good. It is cool.
Well,
because this thing is, you're representing the nation that is supposed to be this huge, unstoppable war machine, but you're subverting under it, and you're constantly on the back foot because your dad wants to fucking kill you.
Yeah, you're trying to take it down from the inside.
Yeah, but also, like, the king of the nation actively wants you fucking dead.
Yeah.
So many of the scenes are just, he comes around and be like, why haven't you killed the protagonist yet? But they're your kid and they're doing work for you. I don't care, kill them. A number of the missions in Conquest are different. Like, they give you specific, like, changed objectives. The one that sticks in my mind is there is one in a port city, which is just survive for 20 turns? 20 turns. Mm-hmm. And playing that on hard mode was the most nail-biting fucking nose to the grindstone I have ever felt in a Fire Emblem game. I was legitimately tense. It felt like, just because there's just these overwhelming enemies just endlessly at you. And you've got little bits of destructible terrain that you're hiding behind. You've got like little artillery things that start getting less useful and they get real close. And you have choke points that you need to defend, but you only have so many units and they have so many more. And it feels so fucking good to survive it by like that much. Play with Phoenix mode on if you're going to play that on hard mode. If you don't, you're going to go down to just you. It's just going to be you. Yeah. Everyone else will die.
Do
not play with the permadeath on hard mode on Fates. That game takes no fucking prisoners.
It takes absolutely no fucking prisoners.
Apart from the fact that that's the game that introduced
someone who only play. Yeah, I know, but I only play with permadeath in Fire Emblem games.
Yeah, but I'm a wuss.
That's fair. I must have played Sacred Stones before I played Awakening. Because why else would I play Awakening with permadeath on? I must have done.
I don't think you did. But anyway,
I think it was when I first got into emulation. I think because Fire.
Oh, in that case, you definitely played Awakening first.
No, because Awakening came out on the 3DS.
Yeah.
So I think I may have played Sacred Stones on my laptop.
I don't know, man.
Long before I had a smartphone capable of doing things like that.
I don't know, man. I'm pretty sure.
Like on the very first Game Boy Advance emulator I ever got.
Don't you mean totally legitimate program?
I mean My Boy. No, actually, no, I mean VBA, which was pre-My Boy. I had VBA emulator on my laptop.
I still have VBA installed on this very computer.
Oh, damn.
Stashed away somewhere.
Thing.
I haven't tried using it in a while because I do all my emulation on my phone.
That's fair.
Send the lawyers.
We only emulate non-Nintendo products.
Yes, we don't emulate Nintendo hardware ever at all.
Ever. So, yeah. Because I think that's why I played Awakening with permadeath on. I think because I had played Sacred Stones before.
I always give myself I don't play with permadeath on Fire Emblem because I am a coward.
That's valid.
But I do give myself a self-enforced rule, which is if I lose X number of characters in a thing, then I will restart, because otherwise it's unsporting and I could just bull rush. I could just cram my fucking army into the enemy with no tactical thought whatsoever.
Yeah.
And that's less fun, and it's stupid, and it's against the spirit of things. Although I will admit,
this is true.
Chris, you were talking earlier, you play a lot of crit builds when it comes to Fire Emblem. I very much don't. I will make one person who is a crit person, and I will hard focus defense for a lot of the rest of it. I am a set a choke point and barricaded up kind of guy. Leonidas is 300 Spartans and it's 40,000 slaves behind him who did half the work. would have been that. Like, that's the tactician. It's that is the tactic I have, and it has never been more evident than in Fates and actually in Engage.
Okay.
Because in Engage, admittedly, I bought the DLC. One of the DLC rings is Hector, who is like, who you can, one of his abilities, you can basically just brace yourself and have like a super powered counter attack for a while, I think.
Yeah.
And the number of times where I have placed the person who had Hector, usually Jade, out in front and just like, while everyone else was backing up to heal or deal with something else, and just going, right, come and have a fucking go if you think you're hard enough. And it's just been a healer about 10 paces behind her, and just a fucking mounting wall of corpses.
Well, I did basically the same thing, but with Ike, because Ike gives you damage reduction and boosted defense. And that was who I put on Etienne, and that was was my favorite thing.
I do want to play Engage again because they did do some cool shit.
Well, this and the other thing, and this is like Chris plays dodge and crit builds by default. I do had a Pegasus Knight. It's so good. I had my Pegasus Knight with fucking Lynn, and like everyone who tried to hit her had exactly a 0% chance to hit her on anything, and it's stunning.
Because I mostly my best dodge build was in 3 houses with Ingrid.
Yep.
And she was just this fucking Falcon Knight, and I would pretty much exclusively just send her off on her own. I'm like, right, you fuck off and just deal with whatever problem requires a lot of movement. I'm gonna send the rest of the army to move up and deal with larger problems. And she would just come back and be like, "Hey, nobody touched me. Nobody, not even the archers could touch her." Like, I would legit, on my 3rd playthrough, I would legitimately send her in against archers who do like super massive damage to flying units, and she couldn't touch her.
I can't touch her.
It's just like, fuck it. It's just a crazy blonde lady with a javelin on the back of a Pegasus. Fuck you.
I think my first 2 kind of experiences of that would have been in Sacred Stones. You get a Swordmaster character, who you can turn into an assassin, because Swordmasters and assassins have the most dodge. And then in Fire Emblem Awakening, I did exactly the same with Long. I was just like, well, this boy is going to become the speediest boy on God's fucking earth. Ain't nobody gonna touch him, and then he's gonna stab them so good that they never be unstabbed.
Yeah. See,
I
usually had the generals up front, and then everyone, and then a bunch of people just waiting just out of the enemy range. So if they survived attacking the general, they just get fucking mobbed.
Well, this I think is where Awakening and Fates really shone in a way that 3 Houses doesn't for me. So 3 Houses, so in Awakening and Fates, every character essentially has like their base class. In Fates, they have 2 base classes, and then you get to and every class gets abilities. And then you get 2 advanced classes off each base class. The idea being that like the way that you can mix and match abilities is by partnering up characters so they get married and like pass abilities on, and they can get abilities from their friends and things like that.
It's a really good mix of the gameplay and the storytelling.
And it added strategy to your romance.
Strategic boning.
Strategic boning is great. You know, we need eugenics is to create the perfect human race.
Sorry, we're suddenly getting very Metal Gear Solid in here.
We are a bit, aren't we? But 3 Houses, basically everybody goes to school and you teach them things in various skills, and they get stuff from the various skills, and that's more important. In the same way that with Engage, what's more important is like leveling up your connection with individual items. Essentially. But I really liked it in Awakening and Fates, where you're like strategically trying to like get all of the right abilities to build the kind of murder machine that you want. Whereas Sacred Stones, Path of Radiance, Radiant Dawn, Binding Blade, Blazing Blade, essentially every character, you know, just levels up within their one tree. If you're the axe guy, you can evolve into more axe guy. Sword guy, you can evolve into more sword guy. Like in Sacred Stones, and every class can evolve into one of two different classes. So like you got some agency. You know, you could choose if your horse guy was going to become a fast horse guy or an armored horse guy. Path of Radiance and Radiant Dawn, you don't get that same choice. Everybody just evolves into one thing. Your archers all become sniper. Your mercenaries all become heroes. Your myrmidons all become sword masters. Like that's there's only one option. It's real sad.
Yeah. Well, that was part of the problem actually with Three
Houses.
Lots of
great characters.
That was part of the problem with Three Houses, was that you ended up with 3 tiers of things. But I always felt that the third tier of classes narrowed things down massively. And there was also some things that just didn't get a clear third tier progression for what you were looking for. Like, if you were playing, and this is where the gender locking comes in, because I'm eternally fucking annoyed at the gender locking in Three Houses, because
the gender locking is so crappy.
I played a female Byleth, and I decided against playing against Byleth's class. This was, I think, my second or third run. So I went, fuck it, I'm going to make you the big crit axe person, because I don't have one of those in this current run.
Yeah.
There is no third tier powerful axe crit person for women in Three Houses. It's only for men. It's the War Master. There's no female War Master. In the similar thing of, you have a number, but here's the thing, what makes that annoying is you have a couple of characters that fit into that archetype, and that's where they should go. Similarly, the top mage option, the Gremory, is female exclusive.
Yeah.
There are a number of male mage classes, and it's like, you don't fit going onto like a mounted version. That doesn't feel right for you. That's not what you should be doing. I want to give you like focus on magic power rather than suddenly bringing in swords at this juncture that you're just not going to fucking use.
Yeah.
It was really annoying. Especially because there was one particular character, Lysithea, who is the perfect dark mage. Like, she is such the dark mage archetype.
Yeah.
The dark mage and the dark bishop, male exclusive.
Yup.
Which basically means you get one character to play as them. Because the only other guy who's kind of applicable for it is so healer coded it's not even funny.
Yeah.
It's really bad.
Yeah.
Just all gender the classes. Just remove gender lock classes, because it's such a stupid fucking idea.
It's very silly.
Like, it's fine if you want to like give them different names, because they did that in Fates, where the Shrine Maiden and the Priest, they're the same fucking class. But there's a male and female version, but they evolve each into like a male and female equivalent. Like, if you have that equivalent, that's okay, because the Shrine Maiden can evolve into the Priestess, who is bows and healing, and the Cleric can evolve into the Great Master, who is spears and healing. They get the same they get the same abilities, they get the same shit. It's literally just range weapon, melee weapon. And like, that's fine. That's fine. But don't create a gender locked class and then give no equivalent for the other gender. It's just frustrating as fiery fuck.
It's garbage.
Especially because nowhere does it tell you that these classes are gender locked until you try and class into them and realize the option just isn't there.
Yeah. Interestingly, specifically with Three Houses, and I'm just having a look for it just now, but I didn't use a lot of the advanced classes in Three Houses, specifically because a bunch of the just like second tier classes had better abilities.
Yeah.
So speaking of crit axes, I did female Byleth crit axe build. And your second tier, which was the warrior, I think, axe fighter,
Captain,
has a crit increase ability. And that was it. I had baseline 70% crit chance on everybody.
Yeah.
Which was incredible.
But I'm still sitting there being like, they could have done it better and without much issue. Like, you could have gotten that and then progressed into War Master.
Yeah.
And had, like, extra bonus stuff. Also, I will say, I do like that in Three Houses they did introduce the ability to just punch someone in the face.
Yeah.
I love that, because I'm not gonna lie, there's a certain level of badass and a certain level of joy that comes into my particular block-headed, like, tough guy loving, just physical violence is always my favorite character. I'm always the guy. I always love the guy who just punches people. It's in my heart. If someone walking onto a battlefield full of armored knights and people on horseback and being like, and just decking someone in the face, it's a thing that will always appeal to me.
We forgot that there's a baby class in Three Houses, so actually there's 4 tiers of classes.
Okay, that one doesn't count.
I know. That was kind of what I was thinking.
That one doesn't count because it's not even like the Villager, where it's like an underpowered class, but the whole point of it is that it has potential to be insane.
Yeah.
Yeah. No.
It's to give you like real basic abilities that are for repositioning on the field, and you get speed +2 or defense or strength or magic. To give you a tiny stat boost.
That's more of a story thing than a gameplay thing, I feel, because that's just okay, you're all starting out as little baby soldiers.
Yeah.
Time to learn how to do war crimes, Edelgard! I will say, in fun little story for myself, the time I remember first meeting one of my partner's other partners, I was working at the bar, came in, started talking about video games, and I have never, like, sparked up a conversation and an argument so fast with somebody, because he said the words, Edelgard did nothing wrong.
Hey, I am Team Edelgard. I'm so Team Edelgard. And I'm right.
Do you agree with the statement, Edelgard did nothing wrong?
No.
Exactly.
But I am here to say that Rhea runs a fascist
100%
religious autocracy.
Like, I remember saying out loud the first time I saw Rhea in that cutscene, being like, I can't wait to see. It's like, well, you're gonna be a boss fight.
Yeah.
And I was right. Rhea runs a fascist theocracy. But Edelgard is the definition of engaging in the necessary evil. However, I think some of the evils she engages in were kind of unnecessary. Like, there's some of the people that she aligns with, and it's like, Jesus fucking Christ.
I will grant you that, and I do feel like, because actually her story is one of the shortest.
Yeah, which is dumb.
It is dumb, because actually what you should be able to do is you should be able to overthrow the theocracy to give people the right to choose their own destinies. Also, I've realized that Rhea's not a fascist; she's just an authoritarian. We should be clear about our terminology.
Well, like, it's a theocracy. It's quite fash though.
They've got 3 independent kingdoms under them who are all allowed to do their own thing, provided they follow the one god. who is the Archbishop's mother.
So yeah, it's a lot closer. It's a lot closer to a papacy.
Yeah. You know, an authoritarian one, because ultimately the ultimate control is still centralized within the church.
Well, yeah,
who have a standing army.
It's like a 14th century papacy, where it's like, all right, England, France, Germany, Italy, they're all their own separate states, but all of their leaders still answer to the Pope.
Yes, and the Pope has a standing army.
Yes.
Yes.
And is a dragon.
Very important to note that the Pope has a very large standing army in this game.
And is a dragon. And is also...
And is a dragon.
And the great thing that you realize about Rhea later, in some of the storylines, is you realize that under the calm and placid facade, she is this close! She is this close to going full genocidal lunatic at all times!
Yeah, like 110%.
The kind way of going for it is that woman is so riddled with PTSD and refuses to acknowledge it or deal with it at all, and has decided to make it the entire country's problem. Yeah. Also, fun side etymological fact. Did you know that everyone in Three Houses should be Irish?
Because Fodlan.
So, for those of you who don't know, a number of the countries because Britain is made up of three Celtic states and some shitbags. There's a number of old linguistics.
Normans.
There's a number of old linguistic stuff. If you ever hear anyone refer to, usually in old poetry, refer to Albion, or if you've played the Fable games, that is just a by-name for England, as is Caledonia is a by-name for Scotland.
Yeah.
Fodland is a by-name for Ireland in some of the really old texts. And I only found this out through some mythology videos. And it's really funny, because also Dimitri, the guy with the very Russian first name, has an extremely Welsh surname.
He does. There's a lot of very Welsh naming in there.
Yeah. And like again, this is a game made by Japanese people, so I can forgive it for not quite getting the difference between Ireland and Wales.
They borrowed it for a fantasy world.
Yeah,
you know?
That's fair. That's entirely fair.
Tolkien based the elves off the Welsh.
Tolkien went the whole hog, though. Tolkien went the whole hog.
He did,
I went, fuck it, I'm writing my own language. Fuck it, it said the plural is dwarves now. I wrote the dictionary. The plural is dwarves. And that's true.
Indeed, yeah.
Prior to Tolkien's edition of the Oxford English Dictionary, dwarfs was the plural.
Sorry, I have a dog here begging for my attention.
Right, you have a little bit of dog time. I'm going to go commit some crimes. Because my stomach is being deeply unkind to me today.
Right, you go and commit crimes. I am going to go off on one about the remake games.
Have fun with that.
I will. So again, I have played a few more Fire Emblem games than Jay has, and you know, I have made poor decisions in my life. I was the first of us to try playing Fire Emblem games on hard mode when I really shouldn't. Fire Emblem games don't handle difficulty well, just generally. They just make everything awful. But Fire Emblem has done 3 remake games to try and bring Japan-only games into the West. I have played 2 of them. That being Fire Emblem Shadow Dragon, which is bringing Shadow Dragon and the Blade of Light, which I think is actually a set of 3 games in a trench coat. It's kind of a remake, the first of those for a Western audience. The next one then being New Mystery of the Fire Emblem, which hilariously is a remake of Mystery of the Fire Emblem. And then we have Echoes, Shadows of Valencia, which is a remake of Fire Emblem Gaiden. Each time they've tried to do something interesting to try and make what is, at that point, a very old game. Because, for instance, Fire Emblem Gaiden, which is credited as the second generation of Fire Emblem game, came out in the Famicom in 1992, and we're remaking this. We're remaking this on Nintendo 3DS hardware. 20 to 30 years in the future. It's difficult taking big steps back and also trying to take steps forward. I enjoyed Echoes Shadows of Valencia because the story is good. You play as two different heroes, and they both lead two separate armies across two separate halves of the map until they eventually join together into one big army to fight the big bad guy. So you've got two parallel stories running at the same time. And they also tried dungeon crawling, in a kind of like an open dungeon setting. It's wild. Give it a go. And I also bought all of the DLC classes because I am a fool. But interestingly, in a problem that I suppose kind of echoed itself 10 or more games down the line with Fire Emblem Engage, as we were just talking just there, in Shadows of Valencia, and therefore Gaiden, there's real problems with balancing, although in this case a lot of it's around movement. So for instance, you get your heavy armored units in Shadows of Valencia who can only go 4 squares at a time, and everybody else is going like 6 to 8 squares at a time. So essentially your armored boys all just get heavy left behind. I got everybody to an advanced DLC class in Fire Emblem Shadows of Valencia except my armored boys, because they never reached the required level, because they just couldn't keep up. They couldn't do it. So it meant certain classes got left behind, in the same way I suppose as Jay was saying that with Engage, certain abilities and changes of class got very much left behind because they were kind of subsumed by other stuff. Balancing is an interesting one in Fire Emblem. It is a series which has mostly gotten balancing right. In the Game Boy Advance era, they did it primarily through weapon triangles for weapons, and then a separate one for magic, where they had 3 different kinds of magic, which were all variously strong against each other. And then in Awakening, Fates, Three Houses Engage, they've done balancing essentially... Well, in Awakening and Fates, they've done balancing essentially by making everybody awesome, but then also allowing you to combo abilities together through that friendship and marriage and having children thing that we were talking about. Three Houses and Engage did it by letting you just freeball any class you like. In between those 2 steps, though, the Game Boy Advance era of we balance it through weapon triangles and kind of trying to give you enough of each type of person that you can do stuff, and Awakening and Fates, where you balance by having children and getting married, we have Path of Radiance and Radiant Dawn, which didn't do balancing particularly well. There are some classes because Path of Radiance and Radiant Dawn both have incredibly linear class progressions, and they also introduced a whole secondary set of characters who were beast people. So their class was being beast people. And they had a turn-based Super Saiyan mechanic where they would spend 5 turns super hench as fuck, and then 5 turns kind of pathetic and having to run away to the back to recharge. They struggle a lot with balancing, a great deal. I was looking this up, and one of the real big examples of that is the Myrmidon class in Path of Radiance is crap. Like, yeah. So you get a Myrmidon in Path of Radiance, who's, I'm just gonna try and remember her name.
Steve.
What?
Steve.
If only I would laugh so much. This character. Scroll through. Here we go. Mia, Myrmidon. You get her in chapter 7. And I think, is she the only Myrmidon you get? No, she's not the only Myrmidon you get, but the later one that you get, you also don't use. You don't, basically, until you get a sword master, there really isn't a lot of call for anyone aside from your hero to use swords. It's funny. But essentially, Mia starts with such a low strength stat that even though she's a dodge crit type unit, she can't do any damage to anybody. She's almost completely useless. She's incredibly hard to keep alive. And that's like, so for the Myrmidon, they were like, oh, Myrmidons will be like dodging and critting. That'll be fine. But they've all got crap damage, like base damage. So even when they crit, even though it does 3 times the amount of damage, 3 times 0 is still 0.
Right, yeah.
So
it's not like it's not like the villagers where it's like it's really hard to keep them alive at the start, but if you do, it's worth it.
Yeah, it's not that in the slightest.
Yeah.
And actually, weirdly, for a defense type playstyle, Path of Radiance is great because you start off with like you get this was the game that introduced the idea that like you can have knights with like heavy armor units for each weapon type. So you get a lance knight, an axe knight, and a sword knight. So you get loads of people. It's a great time. Yeah. I think you might quite enjoy it. Although it will give you serious whiplash as a game. Great writing though. The story.
Well, he's frozen, ladies and gentlemen. It's finally happened. My brother has died live on air. At the very least, his connection has. I really hope it's his connection and not mine, because... yeah. I wonder if he's noticed. I hope he has. But he's just frozen completely solid. So, we're going to sit here, and we're going to wait. And I'm going to wonder what he was gabbing on about while I was in the toilet. Because Chris has a much greater experience of the Fire Emblem series than I do. Because, as I said, all I've played is the modern games. And pretty much a bunch of shit that's taken inspiration from it. So, I've got that breadth of experience. And yeah, it's an interesting genre. I will say it is one of my favorite genres. Also, if his...
Hi.
Is there life after death?
Hey, hi. After death of the internet? Maybe.
God, I can't wait for that.
Yeah. So, yeah, no, my internet has been a bit dodgy now for about 2 weeks, and we don't know why. So it just dropped out there.
Completely.
Fully just dropped out.
Yeah, I'm really glad you're back, because I didn't have any. I had so little to vamp with right now.
So sorry. But yes, that was what I was trying to say. It got worse in Radiant Dawn. Let me describe this to you. So Radiant Dawn is a 3-act story where each act is like a separate part of the story. So each act has a beginning, middle, and end. So it's not so much a 3-act story so much as it's 3 stories.
It's a nested 3-act structure.
One after the other. It's a nested 3-act structure. It's kind of wild. But But towards the end of Act 1, you recruit a character called the Black Knight, who was one of the end game bosses in the previous game. And he's fucking unkillable. He has phenomenal stats, a brutal ass weapon, an incredible fucking weapon art that he can just use. And yeah, he's legit just like, you don't need anyone else if you've got him. Like, it's ridiculous. And they just give that to you as a freebie in like the second to last mission in the first act.
All right.
It's wild. But then on the flip side of that,
does he say that he'll bite your knees off?
No, he doesn't. Sadly, he's a bit more serious than that. But on the flip side of that, when I then played Chapter 1 of Act 2, and you start with everybody in advanced classes, because that's just how we are now, and somebody immediately died. Like, you just start off really, like, with, like, you have 4 units, and they have, like, 12, and you need to try really hard not to die, and one of my guys died.
That sounds exactly like I've told you about this many times. My hard mode playthrough of the Blue Lions route on Three Houses, the first mission post time skip.
Yup.
There was nothing I could do to stop both Mercedes and Annette dying.
Yeah. And the first Blue Lions first mission back is fucking brutal.
Yeah. It made me restart the entire route.
Oh wow.
Because it was like, I need to go back. I need to go back and do this on normal because I just can't do it on hard. I just can't do it. Because like, what happens? Oh yeah, my fucking main mage just bit the dust.
I was gonna say I did do it on hard, and
did they survive? Did everyone survive?
They did. All survived. Yeah, I completed the Blue Lines on hard mode. Yeah.
I mean, honestly, becoming a Dark Souls boss at the end was weird, but
yes, the Dark Souls boss at the end was kind of crazy, but also like the story in the Blue Lines playthrough is so fucking meaty. So
I forget. Good. Is it the Blue Lions or the Black Eagle where you get the point where Rhea just says, "Burn it all down"?
That's Black Eagles.
Yeah, because that's the point.
In Blue Lions, she's unconscious for almost the whole playthrough.
Yeah, because that's the point where, that's the point where you realize, oh fuck, she's nuts. Yeah. Because even the character, because you get the visual reaction from Catherine turning around and going, "I'm sorry, what do you mean set the town our army's in on fire?"
She goes, "Do it now, I command you."
Fucking do
Catherine
it.
Still stays on her side.
Like, fucking do it, I am your pope.
Yeah. It's crazy.
I'm not gonna lie, throughout because I did the Golden Deer first, I was expecting Rhea to betray me at some point, and I'm genuinely kind of annoyed that she didn't.
I haven't finished. I never finished my Golden Deer playthrough. I need to go back and finish it.
The final mission for the Golden Deer.
I watched Faries though, and I know that. Yeah, like Golden Deer, like gets like at the people who are behind Edelgard's takeover, the ones who Edelgard should get to betray in her route, but doesn't. And the only route I have never played, and which if I was going to play, I would want to play it on maximum possible difficulty just to punish myself, is the one where you side with Rhea against Edelgard.
Yeah, you play the Black Eagles and then you side with Rhea against Edelgard because you're an idiot.
Yeah, because you're a monster.
I mean, it's monsters all round, mate. Let's be honest here.
Yeah, you can soft lock yourself into it though.
Really?
It's hard. Yeah. If you don't get at least a B rank relationship with Edelgard before chapter like 17 or something. You soft lock yourself into snow.
It's like how you can just get Kaze fucking murdered in Fates. because I did that on my last Birthright playthrough, because I forgot about it, and I forgot to increase his support rating before that, and he just fucking died in a cutscene.
Yeah.
He saves your life and falls off a cliff. Just fucking dead.
Yeah.
And then married him in Revelations.
It's fucking crazy.
I married him in Revelations.
He is a handsome boy.
Also,
Kaze is a handsome boy.
Passing on my skills to Midori made her scary.
That's fair. Midori is adorable.
Midori is we love Midori.
But I think previously I tend to make Azura her mother for the luck +4.
See, the luck +4 is nice. Transferring Hoshiden Unity, which just increases trigger rate for all skills by 10%. Much better.
10%. Yeah.
Because
I mean, valid.
Yeah, it's good shit. Also, I like
you can also just
Kana
give her
and
quixotic
Midoriya's siblings.
That's fair.
That
is fair.
Siblings.
That is fair.
Nice.
I can't argue with that. Yeah.
But also, I was playing that Revelation mode with all the cheats on, so who fucking cares?
Yay!
I will say, just in terms of weird partnerships, do you know who ended up being like really, really close? They didn't get married, but who got really close weirdly in one of my runs? In my Conquest run, Rinka and Xander.
Wild.
Because I had Rinka as an Oni chieftain who has bonkers defense.
So good.
And Xander comes in quite late, so I didn't really want to spec into him much, because it's like, but because of Siegfried and him being
he has a holy weapon.
He has a holy weapon, which gives him a +4 to defense, as well as him having pretty solid defense naturally. If you pair him and Rinka up in guard stance, they're basically fucking immortal. Literally just give her I didn't manage to get any Venge clubs, but it's just like, give her something, a solid axe, walk her into the middle of enemy territory with Xander backing her up.
Yeah.
The bitch just will not die!
Well, this is,
the stat boost gets fucking insane!
Yeah.
It's just like high a defense as you can manage. She's just like, alright.
Listen, again,
bite me.
Yeah, talking about like the things that are great in Fire Emblem, aside from like people supporting each other in abilities, the support conversations that you get between people, you know, this magical idea that they came across to be like, damn, all of our characters should be characters. That's a really good idea. In Fate, so in Revelations, the third Fates game where you get to play all the sides at once, which I'm now doing my first playthrough of. Well, not my first playthrough. I'm going to finish my first playthrough of, because last time I played it, I gave up on it, and I shouldn't have done that. I got like 16 chapters in and stopped. I've still got the save there, so I'm going again. So I've never finished Revelations.
You are kidding me.
No, I'm not. It's one of those ones I always meant to go back to. So I'm now playing it on easy mode.
Dude, the back half of Revelations is so good.
I know, and I haven't finished it.
Like, what the shit, man?
But I have discovered that Obero and Berika are best friends.
Berika's terrifying once you realize how to use her.
Oh god, she starts terrifying. She's so good. And she gets incredible skill growth. I am very excited to ruin everybody's lives with her.
I gave her like a really heavily smithed hand axe, and holy fucking shit.
Yeah. Oh, I'm very excited.
It's a scary lady. It's a shame. It is a shame that you cannot get her into a bow class without an extreme amount of work.
Yeah.
In fact, I'm not actually sure you can. You might
I'm
be
not
able,
sure
you might be able to. I'm not actually sure if you can get her into being an outlaw.
She can probably. I'm assuming she can probably marrying
Niles. I don't
outlaw.
think passes her the outlaw character.
It would, because that's his.
No,
base
I think
class.
it passes her Niles' secondary character.
That doesn't sound right.
No, because I remember looking at this and going, "Oh, that her key ability is like she does an extra 4 damage." If the person she's attacking cannot fight back, and archers are perfect for that.
Yeah.
And I went, oh, I'm going to try and make her into an archer. And I remember looking through the wiki, which I now have open in front of me. Potential classes. Standard sets, yeah, she's got the Wyvern Rider and the Fighter. You can make her a Dark Mage.
Yeah, through being pals with everybody's name has gone out of my head. Camilla, yeah.
You can make her a ninja with Kaze, but ninjas don't have enough of a. No, you can. Okay, no, you're right. You can get her through Niles being an outlaw. But it's literally that. It's either it's Kaze or Niles is your only chance.
To give her that kind of mad range.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you don't want to put her as a dark mage because she's got really, really shit magic growth.
Yeah. There we go. That's obviously.
But yeah, so Fire Emblem is a fantastic fantasy strategy series. That it's really important how you balance your swords, your axes, your lances. And now they're gonna put guns in it.
Yeah.
You're gonna be able to. It is literally just gonna be I cast Sig. I summon the great beast Sigsar.
I'm sorry. I am so excited for the new game. I think it's gonna be.
I think it's
phenomenal.
I am quite hyped for it. I'm not gonna lie. I am quite hyped for it. But I do just love the fact that it looks like such a shit post in the trailer because it's just a regular handgun. It's just a fucking automatic handgun. That that shit could have come straight out of Smith and Wesson.
I mean, it was very funny.
I have the ancient. I'm going to defeat you with the power of friendship and also this gun I found.
It's
brilliant. And we will probably
funny.
talk about it quite a lot when we can both afford to buy it because I definitely won't be able to play it on launch.
It's gonna be a while before I can get a Switch to play it. So many things, so poor. The
Switch 2 has enough of a library that
I'm holding off thinking it. Yeah, and also there's no other next gen console that I'm ever gonna be able to afford to buy. Like, sure, I can play everything on PC now.
Well, I'm also not getting it.
But except for the Nintendo stuff.
I was gonna say, apart from the Nintendo stuff, there's nothing really that's kind of tickled my fancy to make me want to buy a PS5. The only thing that has come announced is that that the Kingdom Hearts collection has come to Switch. I'm really hoping that Kingdom Hearts 4 gets a Switch 2 release. Because I'm not
It's getting one.
Is it?
Yeah, it was the Nintendo Direct that Kingdom Hearts 4 was announced in.
No, it was the Disney Direct. It was D23.
No, it was the Kingdom. No, it was a month before that in the Nintendo Direct. Kingdom Hearts 4 was announced.
Oh, sweet. Then I don't have to worry about it because I was like, I am not buying a PS5 just for one fucking game. I'm not doing it.
No. Also, the other things that are available.
All the Kingdom Hearts games are on PC now.
Yeah. Also, Elden Ring is going to be on Switch 2. And it is on Switch 2.
What?
I'm gonna play it.
Like, I care about
Elden
the Switch 2.
On Switch 2.
The Switch 2 has shit I want. Switch 2 has shit I want. And I'm very happy if Kingdom Hearts 4 gets released on that because it means I'll have a Switch 2. And I won't need to do anything else because anything that's getting released on Xbox is getting a PC release. And also, I don't fucking care.
Yeah.
And anything getting released on Sony, on PlayStations, I just don't fucking care.
They don't. I don't think
there hasn't been a release. There hasn't been an announcement that I've given a fuck about in years.
But they've also stopped doing version exclusives on the PS5.
They stopped doing console exclusives, kind of, and they stopped doing physical media. So I don't fucking care. I don't fucking care, Sony. Sony once produced the greatest video game console of all time. And it was so good, and it was the PS2, and it was so good because of its physical media support and its third-party support. And now you ain't doing shit with either of those things. Fuck you, Sony. Good night.
Yeah. Bye!
Bye!